Good morning, everybody. I'm not going to be so loud today because I'm actually in the Castle Park. I thought it might be nice you seeing how lovely it is today. I had to drop something off at the post office and I thought I would bless myself with the beautiful park in this lovely, lovely sunshine. I am sorry that I didn't do a walkie-talkie yesterday, but as some of you know, I wasn't feeling very well. I had a sort of a coughing fit in the car and had to turn back home, and then I had this really sore throat and was sort of knocked out for 24 hours. So I went and had a COVID-19 test in Ipswich. Thankfully it come back negative, so I'm okay. So I'm resting today, but I thought I would just come just to spend some time in the sun and get some vitamin D on my skin. But I thought, you know, I wanted to bring something that's going to be really beneficial to you today, because as I was on my way down here, I was listening to a piece of music which was actually by Chopin, but it was recorded by Oliver Arnolds and a lady called what's her name, Alice Sarah Ott, who is a German-Japanese concert pianist. And I would like to say it's a sort of a haunting piece, but that's probably inappropriate. It's more of a nostalgic piece of music, because even though the piece itself is quite nostalgic, the actual he's put sort of an ambient, atmospheric type of recording over it, which sounds very much like a cafe in the 1930s in Paris. And it, you know, it's got this sort of crackling noise, but it's also got laughter in the distance and families and friends chatting away, but you can't really hear what they're saying, but over the top. And it's just that, along with that music and along with the ambience of that recording, it gives me this such nostalgic feeling of being brought back to my childhood, you know, when I used to be with my parents, when we used to go to perhaps the cafes or whatever, having time running about, and it sort of brought me back. And just that sense of nostalgia reminds me of my childhood and brings me such happy memories, and it kind of quietens my spirit, calms my soul. And I thought, what am I going to say about this? So I remembered a verse on the way down here from Psalm. It's one of the Psalms, and it says this: "But I have quieted and calmed myself like a weaned child. I'm like a weaned child with its mother, and like a weaned child I am content." And just listening to that music reminded me of that moment where I had no responsibilities as a child, and I was totally reliant and under the covering of my parents. So, you know, all you had to worry about, you know, is just play, run around like nuts. And you know, once you come back to your mum, you were in their hands, and you didn't have to worry about a thing. And they're the ones that fed you, they're the ones that gave you drink, and all you had to do is just sort of have fun, really, and learn. And then I thought, okay, is this what we're supposed to be like as God's children? Because I don't know about you, but I've been quite stressful over this period of time, because we put a lot of responsibility on ourselves, put a lot of burdens on ourselves, bit of worry and fear and all that stuff. But I'm wondering if the Lord wants us to be like that weaned child with Him, to be totally reliant on Him, and to enjoy life in His presence. You know, ministry and all that is important at that, but I think we do it under so much burden, under so much worry, and I'm just wondering if we should be or act more like that weaned child, to be content in Him on a regular basis. So as I listen to that song, if you can find it, it's by Oliver Arnolds and Alice Sarah Ott, and it's called Nocturne in G minor, which is by Chopin. Have a listen to it and see if that reminds you of perhaps a cafe back when you were a kid. It reminds me, again, I can't remember if I said this, but it reminds me of a sort of a cafe in France, you know, at going there as a child, and brings back such wonderful and happy memories. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say to you, is just remember to be a wean, remember to come to God as a weaned child with its mother, so that you can quiet and calm yourself in his presence and just remain content. And just remember that, let's just rely on him as our Father, and not worry or not have any burdens or anything like that, just to enjoy yourself in life and in ministry as well. It's a real challenge to us, isn't it? But I have quieted and calmed myself like a weaned child with its mother. Like a weaned child, I am content. It's one of the Psalms, I forget where it is now, but anyway, bless you. And join us for prayer this evening at 7 o'clock on Zoom Room. Thanks very much. Bye.